I promise the Sims team actually asked for this criticism. They asked for this feedback. Usually I just give it because I'm feeling it and I'm frustrated at the time that I make these kind of videos. But this time around, we may actually be heard because I made a video last week basically saying that they were asking for Simmers feedback in their official Discord channel. Basically, if you've ever had any frustrations with the Sims 4 gallery, now is your time to be heard. Please go and put all of your ideas, all of your fixes, what frustrates you about the gallery, how they could change it, etc. into that Discord post. I'm going to have a link in the description to their official Discord. All you have to do is scroll down until you see like Sims Labs and then feedback, and they will have a thread already set up for the gallery feedback. We are actually gonna be like on my gallery for a portion of this. My first one is actually like replying to comments, because right now all you can do is either report comments or you can exit out of them. I guess what I could do is like try and at someone, but they wouldn't get like a notification or anything that is like an official at. I just think that replying to people, honestly, also upping the character limit from 140, at least do like 300 or something, because I feel like that is such a small character limit nowadays, especially in like the grand scheme of like social media. I also really wish that if you did either report a comment or, more importantly, you reported something on the gallery, you actually got feedback on that. Like you got a follow-up, you got maybe an email, whichever email you use to access like The Sims and EA, or maybe you got like a pop-up on the gallery. I just really wish that reports you were held more accountable for. I wish that they followed up like, hey, we're currently like checking out this item, and then if it does get in fact removed from the gallery or the player gets removed, whatever it may be, you actually get a notification about that. There is something telling you, hey, we saw your report, this is how we're responding to your report, and if this player has been blocked or something has been removed, these are the actions that were taken. I think that holds actual people uploading the stuff to the gallery that is breaking the rules accountable. Obviously, we saw it with tattoos. There are absolutely hateful things written about people, and, you know, anti-Semitism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, whatever it may be that people are doing inappropriately on the gallery should absolutely be held accountable for, and I just think that would be a way to do it. Also, I have a couple when it comes to like my library, because I spend a lot of my time in my library. I think that you should be able to multi-select here. Obviously, I have like a ton of things for like that I've saved for videos, and I don't need all of these, so I should be able to multi-select and then like mass delete, or it could like flag duplicates. Maybe they could like stack, and then you could see like, oh, this is like the same family, but I've just like updated a couple of things. There's a lot of things that they could do to make my library flow better. I also really wish that you could either pin favorites so that they like appeared across the top and they were always like pinned to your top rows, so that you could actually like see, maybe you use like a model family a lot for videos, or maybe you have base Sims that you like creating Sims off. Maybe there are outfits that you enjoy and you want to use those outfits. There's a ton of reasons why you could have favorites or highlights, etc. in your library. I also really wish that they made folders. I guess this would be more so for your actual profile, but I really wish that there was like folders and collections that you could create. I think this could also work in my library, again, just to kind of organize it a lot more, because right now it's just one slab of information with like everything you've ever created in the game, and it would be so so nice if you could create collections, folders, whatever you want to call them, bookmarks, etc. Just places to kind of sort all of these pieces of information. Maybe you could just have like a duplicates folder that you cleared out every so often. I also think folders on your actual profile could be really, really good. So for example, I could put all of these in one collection because they were all part of one video. And then if someone was looking for something specifically from that video, they could just go to that folder. Maybe you are a builder and you have like a ton of starter homes that you've created. You could create a collection of starter homes, of mansions. I could do like Let's Play Sims or fairies or townies. A lot of people use the gallery to give people what they want. They do like default townies that you can put into your game. There's a ton of things. I also think you could take that one step further in the actual like gameplay, and maybe you do have like preset townies as a collection, and then you could choose for your game to spawn new townies from that collection so that you always have defaults and they actually look like Sims that have been created by people and not just randomly generated by the game. I just think collections, folders, we need those so much more in The Sims 4 and very specifically on the gallery right now. Also, just on the note of like being able to multiple select and then like mass delete, I think that deletion and also removing stuff from the gallery takes far too long right now. That needs to be optimized. There's a reason my gallery and my library are a hot mess, and it's because deletion isn't easy in the gallery. When you use the gallery, if you go onto someone's profile, you can actually follow them, but that does absolutely nothing. There isn't a tag so that you can like search by followed or like creators. They don't come in like their own special feed. I did see someone actually already talk about this in the feedback, but even just having a new tab that was like following or like liked creators, that actually just worked as a place where all of your liked creators were, kind of like a social feed such as like YouTube comments or Twitter, anything like that. And it's just the people that you specifically follow. You follow them for a reason, but right now it is absolutely useless. So highlighting those creators that you have followed and that you are interested in downloading their stuff, you usually just have to like search for them using their EA account to keep on top of what they've actually uploaded. I also just think in this sort by, they could do so much more with it. Just for a couple of examples, you could have those followed or like creators. Sort by oldest. I know there's a couple of times that I want to go through my library from the oldest, but I just have to scroll all the way down instead. And again, that just takes so much time and energy. Also, most favorited. Obviously, they have most popular. I'm fairly sure most popular is based on how many downloads something has. So I also think that just like most favorited could be a nice little addition as well. I know sometimes it might not change much, but I feel like anything that anyone has created can also be shown in popularity when it comes to likes. I think when it comes to advanced, obviously really the only thing that we have under advanced is include custom content or not, and then also the list of packs. I would like it if you went on households, for example, you could actually search by age. Maybe you wanted like all toddlers for like a 7 toddler challenge. Maybe you want like all elders if you are building or need to test out a retirement home or something like that. I'm sure I could go into a lot of details of like what other tags that I would want, but worlds as well. If you are on lots, being able to choose which world it was actually like built in. The way that I mostly use the gallery right now, especially if I'm looking for a lot, say if I want a lot in Sulani, I will go on Sulani and then I'll choose the lot type. So if I'm looking for a community space, I will do that. I will put in Sulani and I'll usually go for the most popular because I feel like those are the ones that have been like tested by a lot of players. That is the easiest way to find like lots that you want, but I think just having like a world tag would also be very, very helpful. When it comes to packs, this is just one long list now, and I think all of these should be collapsible. I think expansion packs should be collapsible. I think game packs should be collapsible. I think stuff packs packs should be collapsible. And then I think kits should be split up into like all the kits that we have, however, also collapsible, just so you don't have this one long big list and you can kind of just like pick and choose. I just think there needs to be a better way of like removing these as well. I don't ever really use these. Yes, I am fortunate enough to have all of the packs, so obviously it makes sense why I wouldn't. But I think for players who don't have all the packs and want to get specific, this just like takes too long in general. Like, let me do multiple and then deselect them all. Don't do it like one by one. Also, just like an unselect all or select all. I feel like if you unselected all and then just chose like the couple of packs that you maybe did have, would be way easier to use than just having to scroll through each and every single one of these and limiting yourself. And then finally, I think we need a rework on stealing on the gallery. Sometimes when a build is uploaded, it will say like original buy and it will have the tag to the original creator, but I sometimes realize that something has been stolen and then it won't have that tag on it. I don't know how people get around it. I don't know if it's just like a glitch on the gallery that sometimes it just doesn't take in the fact that the original was by someone else. I also think if you click that, it should take you to the original build that they used instead of just taking you to that person's catalog, because then that means you have to go back and like find the original on their catalog, which just takes a very, very long time, especially when the gallery literally feels like a time machine. It sucks the life out of you, and it also takes so long to load anything. Like, trying to find that lot would be such a ball ache. I just wish that even if someone completely bulldozed something and then rebuilt it, it still said original buy. I just always think that original should be there. I don't think there should be any way to get around it, because at the end of the day, if you hit that original buy and you realize it's a completely different lot and this person has like completely just demolished it and rebuilt it, you're still gonna download the one that you initially found, because that's probably the one that you were looking for. I don't think it takes anything away from either of the creators, and I just always think that the original buy should be there no matter what. There shouldn't be any kind of loophole to get around it. Onto the actual lots. Now, I'm not a builder, so therefore I don't really upload lots all that often, so I'm not gonna have too much to say on this, but I fully agree with what a lot of people are already saying in the Discord, which is the fact that you should be able to choose what pictures they use. It shouldn't just be like a default from like an angle that The Sims has predetermined. You should be able to choose like up to 10 pictures to actually showcase your build, and they could just potentially be screenshots from your screenshots folder, or they could be like multiple angles and you just like choose the best ones like predetermined by the game. I also think you should be able to choose your poses for your Sims, because sometimes they kind of choose like a household pose that doesn't really seem like them. So I think just having like a camera down here, the way that you can in like the camera in the game and change poses, you should just be able to click that. It will filter through a couple of poses and you can just pick the best one that suits your Sims. I wish that there was a way to upload apartments without just having to like remove a piece of wall. I can't believe that it's been so many years since City Living was released and we still have to do that. Again, I feel like collections could help with that, because then you could just upload like multiple rooms to a collection and be like, hey, this is a grouped together apartment, and it's like easy for people to find. Also, I really wish that when you actually found a lot, it would give you the information on which like lot in the game, like just the title of the lot it was actually built upon, like which plot of land, because sometimes I look at something and I'm like, I have no idea where this was actually like built. You can kind of guess off the size, I guess, if you're like already in the world and you're like looking, but that just takes a lot of going back and forth between the world map and then also the gallery. I would just prefer it to say like this lot built upon and then tell you where it was built. And finally, when it comes to the Sims instead of the lots, I wish that when you clicked on a sim, it gave you extra information. I wish that it listed the Sim's pronouns. It could do all of this like on this page. Obviously, it does give you the traits of a Sim and whether they're in a cult, but it could have their pronouns in just like next to their name or like somewhere. It does say that they're a young adult. There should be more information about the Sims. So that includes pronouns, sexual orientation, or their gender settings. I think all of these could potentially be like drop downs or just like information dotted around the screen, because I guess this always stays the same because it's one singular Sim. So it's not like any of these would be blocked out by other Sims being on this page. Also, household funds, I think, should be listed somewhere, either in the description or like on their profile. Their family tree could also be shown just to show the relationships between Sims. None of this should be a surprise, I don't think, once you get them into Create a Sim. Again, their relationship status and also their skills. I just wish there was way more information given about Sims so that nothing is a shock when you actually do download them. Yes, you can always change those things about them. You have the creativity to be able to change those things. However, just like knowing from the get-go what you are downloading would be super helpful. I do agree that you should be able to see at least one outfit from each category, so you know if a sim is naked in any of them, because that takes a really long time. The amount of times I've just downloaded a sim off the gallery and they only have their everyday wear sorted and everything else is a hot mess, and I'm like, I wish that wasn't the case. And I'm saying that as a person who enjoys Create a Sim. Sometimes I just don't have time to like go through all of that and change stuff up, you know? I think this MCC include is actually what I was talking about. I think people are using MC Command Center to like include this sim as like a townie that the game spawns. So I imagine if MC Command Center can do that, if the gallery did actually use collections or folders, we could get that within the game, which is interesting. I didn't know if that idea had any validity to it, but now I'm thinking, they could potentially make that happen. This one is quite recent, but I think that you should be able to upload fairy wings. Fairy wings actually take a really long time for people to change up. Sometimes they make them really cool, and I would like it if you could actually just upload fairy wings to the gallery. Right now, I don't know why, but I can't find any fairy that has wings, but obviously you can style fairy wings, you can draw on them, you can paint them, and I just think, like tattoos, those should be uploadable. I think if someone spent a lot of hours on fairy wings and they want other simmers to be able to use them, I think that you should be able to upload those as an asset. I also think that should happen with like cats, dogs, horses, and werewolves and their furs. That could be a little bit more difficult because obviously like things could shift on a cat or a dog or a horse or a werewolf quite easily depending on their size and their features. So maybe that one's not a possibility, but fairy wings I absolutely think is a possibility. Like they should work like tattoos. Obviously, this one kind of relates to Create a Sim, and I think we would need to be able to save styled outfits before this came, but if we do ever get the option to like favorite specific things or create styled outfits, we should be able to upload those styled outfits to the gallery for those people who sometimes just like don't want to dress their Sims and just want to be like, oh, this is a nice outfit, let me download that, and then it gets put onto the sim actually in your Create a Sim. And then finally, again, kind of talking about when you take a sim from the gallery and actually into your Create a Sim. Let me actually just load into the game and get some sims set up so I can kind of explain what I'm talking about here with visuals. Sometimes you have like 6 sims in your household. This could be like an actual household that you're gonna play with. This could literally just be like a household that you are doing like a Create a Sim challenge with, whatever. But when you actually go onto like open the gallery, I wish that if there were like multiple sims like this, if I try and place this household, I currently can't merge them because I have 6 already in my create sim and then 5 here, which would add up to way more than like the household limit of 8 that is within the game. I can only replace, but I would love it if you could just click on an individual sim and then be able to place that sim instead of just placing the household. Like if I just wanted 2 of these fairies, I should have an option next to maybe place household that just says place sim. As soon as you've clicked on one of them, it's just that individual sim from the gallery that you're placing and not their whole household. That genuinely felt like rapid fire. I'm not gonna lie, those were all probably written within like 10 minutes. I fear I could have gone so deep, and honestly I probably will still like think about this and probably even upload more into the actual Discord of like frustrations that I have. These were just the really serious ones that I could just like pull from the top of my brain. Like they were at the forefront of my mind just by looking at the gallery. I'm sure I could go into way more depth when it comes to actually going through the filters and like how badly they currently work in the game. I just really don't think the gallery is optimized all that well. It definitely feels like it's stuck in a moment of time of like 2011. Even just the fact that it looks like so bare bones. Even when you look at it in the comparison of like all the refreshes and the makeovers that The Sims has got over the years, I feel like the gallery has never been made over. Like it still looks exactly the same now as it looked in base game, and it's really dated. But I think before they focus on like the aesthetics of it, obviously they need to work on the fundamentals. They need to work on the basics of like how it actually functions, and I don't think it functions very well. I think my biggest ones that I would love to see are definitely like creating a highlights or a folders reel in both your library and also your specific gallery page. Having folders I think would make just life so much easier. Being able to multi-select and like multi-delete and multi-upload would save so much time, I personally feel, on the gallery. Choosing what pictures of like builds and sims, because I know that people are so frustrated with that nowadays, and also adding more information to the actual sims and like what you expect to see within create a sim with those sims. I think those are my main like gripes with the gallery as of right now, but of course I would love to open this up to you lot in the comments. If you do leave comments, make sure that you also, if you want to create a Discord, go check out the Sims Lab channel on that official Discord and just literally copy and paste your comment. Just to let you know, because some people weren't actually seeing the feedback forum on their list on the official Discord. You probably start off in server guide when you actually join. If you just go to the channel underneath that, this is called channels and roles. And then under what pings do you want to activate, you can actually choose feedback opportunities. So this is when the team will like ping you and say, hey, we have a new feedback opportunity. So make sure that is clicked. And then also, if you go to announcements, under announcements and info, the second, currently, it could obviously move, but the second post up from August 27th, 2025. This is saying about Sims Lab. So you might actually need to click on this before you get access to it. Just click on feedback forum and that will take you directly to where you need to be. I've also joined up for Camp Plumbob, so if you're not seeing that, that's the reason why. They're all to do with like different roles that you can access within. And then we have the general feedback, share your Sims 4 gameplay, which I might also do a video on, like my generic, more gameplay focused stuff. This is the one you need though. Posted 9 days ago, gallery feedback, we want your thoughts. You can see this just on the side like this, or if you click the title, you can actually go into the full thing. If you hit this arrow up in the top right corner, you can also jump up to the top of the channel, which will basically tell you what they are looking for. Number one, how easy is it to find new content relevant to your interest / gameplay goals? tools? Number 2, how can we make searching for content easier? I maybe would try and answer both of those questions a little bit better than I personally did. I might add on to it, obviously, before I post my thoughts. And then generally, what would you love to see improved or added? Share your thoughts below. We'll be reviewing everything, passing along themes and ideas to the dev team. Make sure you get your feedback in by September the 10th, as this forum post will be moved to read only. So if you actually want your gallery feedback to be in this thread, get it submitted before the 10th of September. Sims, please take this video as my official feedback on my thoughts of the gallery feedback. I'm gonna write it up for you all as well over on that Discord, but you all should get your feelings, thoughts heard as well, and you should all put that on the Discord. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know what you would like to see on the gallery. What are your biggest gripes with it right now? Are there any in my list that you're like, yes, absolutely, that is so frustrating and I so wish that we had that? Of course, I want to hear it all, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.